The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. For years, a blurry elevator video and just wild Hollywood whispers fueled a decade-long obsession. Like, did they or didn't they? Well, now the silence is broken. And just like that, Hollywood has its newest obsession. Welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
It is honestly genuinely surreal to be looking at a story that has absolutely hijacked the internet this week. I mean, we are talking about a mystery that has haunted pop culture for years, finally getting an answer.
Oh, totally. And to get to the bottom of this, we are taking a deep dive into a massive stack of recent sources. We've got deep dive articles from Variety, The Independent, and Netflix Junkie.
Right.
Plus, we are pulling real-time public reactions from Reddit's massive FOMOI community. And because this story inevitably collides with the courtroom, we are even digging into extensive legal Wikipedia logs.
Which is heavy, but that wide range of sources is critical here. Because, this isn't just a story about celebrity gossip. It's really a story about the legal system, social media manipulation, and the immense psychological pressure of living out your life in the public eye.
100%. So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack the explosive headline that dropped this week. The headline is, Cara Delevingne finally responds to long-standing Amber Heard rumors.
Wow.
Yeah, we are breaking down the exact timeline of events, the bizarre billionaire love triangle that emerged, the brutal defamation trial aftermath, and what this all actually means for pop culture today.
Yeah, let's jump right into the revelation that started it all.
Okay, here is the bold headline, the shocking fact. Supermodel Cara Delevingne has officially confirmed her secret romance with Amber Heard.
Right. She delivered this confirmation during a really highly anticipated sit-down on the Louis Theroux Podcast. And for anyone who has followed Hollywood dynamics over the last decade, this is a monumental moment.
Yeah.
It takes years of intense speculation and finally, anchors it in reality.
To understand the weight of this, though, you have to rewind to 2016. If you were anywhere near social media back then, you remember the video.
Oh, everyone remembers it.
Exactly. It was a leaked, grainy security tape from the elevator at Johnny Depp's Eastern Columbia building penthouse in Los Angeles. The footage basically showed Amber Heard hugging and kissing this mystery woman.
Right, and because of the blurry quality, it became like the Zapruder film of Hollywood gossip. Practically the whole internet analyzed the posture, the profile, and concluded the mystery woman was Cara Delevingne.
Yeah, and we have to place that video within its actual historical context.
Right. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were married in February 2015. They split up 15 months later in May 2016, which, triggered some truly shocking domestic abuse allegations.
Yes, very shocking.
And that basically set the stage for multiple globally publicized defamation trials. Throughout all of that legal warfare, that elevator video just always hung over the narrative as this massive unanswered question.
So let's break down exactly what Cara said to Louis Theroux to finally answer it. Because Theroux didn't hold back. He asked her directly about the rumors, and specifically about the reports that Depp was driven crazy by the idea that Amber might be sleeping with her.
And Cara didn't dodge it at all.
No, she didn't. She simply said, I think he was pretty driven crazy by jealousy.
What really stands out in that interview, though, is how meticulously Cara clarifies the timeline. Because in the context of those defamation trials, the timeline is literally everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
She explained that the jealousy began way back in 2013. At that time, Cara, Amber, and Johnny were all working together on a film called London Fields. But Cara stated emphatically that nothing was happening at that point.
Which makes sense because she noted that the romantic connection didn't spark until much later. She said later, after they divorced, it had, I suppose. And when Louis pressed her on the specific word entanglement, asking what that actually meant in reality, she confirmed, we were close for a long time. And then when they were going through the divorce, yeah, we were entangled.
That phrasing is incredibly deliberate. I mean, she is confirming the romance, but firmly shutting down the narrative that it was an affair during the marriage.
Yeah, exactly.
The physical romantic entanglement only occurred while Amber was actively going through her divorce from Depp.
Hearing this delayed confession, it just feels like an open secret finally getting a notarized stamp. Like, we all operated under the assumption that this happened, but having one of the actual people involved sit down on a microphone and put it on the historical record, it fundamentally changes how we view that era of Hollywood.
Yeah, it really does.
But what I find most compelling here isn't just the confirmation itself, but the why behind the decade of silence.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you look at the emotional context of Cara's journey, the silence isn't just understandable, it was literally a survival mechanism.
Yeah.
Based on our sources, particularly her interview on the Call Her Daddy podcast and coverage by The Independent, Cara was dealing with a profound internal struggle regarding her sexuality during those years.
Which is so much to carry.
You have to remember she was one of the faces of Victoria's Secret at the time, arguably the absolute peak of mainstream heteronormative beauty standards. She described feeling like an undercover lesbian.
Oh, wow. That phrase, undercover lesbian, carries so much weight.
It does.
Just paints a picture of someone walking down runways in front of millions of people smiling for the cameras while carrying this agonizing fear of being found out.
The anxiety must have been totally suffocating. She explained that a basic human instinct is to seek the path of least resistance. And coming out was not the easy path.
No, definitely not.
In fact, she didn't publicly officially confirm she was a lesbian until May 2026, when she announced it at a Rosalia concert in London. So if you put yourself in her shoes back in 2016, you're terrified of coming out, and you are suddenly being pressured to publicly confirm a same-sex relationship with a woman who is in the epicenter of a violently scrutinized, scandalous celebrity divorce.
Yeah, anyone would keep their head down in that scenario. It's just an unimaginable amount of pressure. And, you think that's the entire story. Two massively famous women trying to navigate a secret romance and personal identity crises under the blinding, unforgiving lights of the paparazzi.
Right.
But that's not even the wildest part, because there was another massively famous and unimaginably wealthy figure wrapped up in this entanglement. We'll get into the billionaire twist right after this.
Oh man, the layers to the story just keep compounding.
Yeah, they do. So we are back, and we have to talk about the billionaire love triangle that turned this from a Hollywood scandal into a global spectacle. Here is your next shocking fact. Amber Heard wasn't just entangled with Cara Delevingne. She was simultaneously entangled with Elon Musk.
The introduction of Musk into this timeline turns an already complex web into something truly bizarre.
Yeah, it's wild.
During the 2022 defamation trial in Virginia, Johnny Depp actually introduced a formal accusation that Heard had engaged in a threesome affair with Cara Delevingne and Elon Musk.
I mean, claiming a tech billionaire and a supermodel were having a threesome with your wife in your penthouse is an explosive thing to put on the legal record.
Unbelievably explosive.
But when we fact-check this against our sources, the reality is a bit different, though honestly no less complicated. On the Louis Theroux podcast, Cara confirmed that, yes, Amber was seeing Musk at the exact same time they were entangled.
Right.
Cara said she was also entangled with other people, and when Theroux prompted, well, with Elon, Cara just replied, there you go.
But we have to look at how Musk responded to this, because he didn't stay quiet. Back in 2020, Musk went on the record with Page Six to explicitly and publicly deny the threesome allegation.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, his statement was very clear. He said, Cara and I are friends, but we've never been intimate. She would confirm this. He also firmly insisted that his relationship with Amber only began about a month after her divorce filing.
Okay, so if we synthesize these accounts, there was no threesome. But there was a definitive period where Amber Heard was navigating relationships with both Cara Delevingne and Elon Musk simultaneously.
Exactly.
And what surprised me most in our research was the emotional rawness from Musk. We found a 2017 interview he did with Rolling Stone. He and Amber dated until early 2018, and in that interview, Musk completely dropped his guard.
Yeah, he really did.
He admitted he was really in love. He told the magazine it hurt bad. Well, she broke up with me more than I broke up with her.
It is incredibly jarring to hear a titan of the tech industry, someone focused on colonizing Mars, speak that vulnerably about a breakup.
It really is.
It just underscores the emotional intensity radiating from this entire group of people. You have Depp, consumed by this historical jealousy,
Yeah.
Cara navigating the terror of her closeted sexuality, Musk genuinely heartbroken, and Amber at the center of it all while fighting through a brutal, highly public divorce.
I mean, we constantly demand that celebrities give us a movie script, and here they are, just living one out in real time, which honestly explains the overwhelming public reaction we are seeing right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Looking at Reddit, specifically the FOMO community, users are having a field day with this confirmation. A huge narrative taking over that subreddit is comparing Cara's life to the novel The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, users are joking that if Cara ever writes a memoir, the sheer volume of behind-the-scenes A-list relationships would literally break the publishing industry.
It totally would.
Yeah.
But, while the Evelyn Hugo comparisons highlight the glamorous, fictionalized way we consume celebrity lives, the Reddit discourse also takes a much darker, more critical turn. There is a very intense debate happening about Cara's silence over the last several years. Many users are expressing deep bitterness that Cara stayed entirely quiet during the 2022 defamation trial.
Yeah, I read those threads, and the frustration is just palpable. The 2022 trial was a global spectacle where, depending on what corner of the internet you were on, Amber was entirely vilified.
Exactly.
A lot of people feel that Cara had a moral obligation to step up to a microphone back then and corroborate Amber's accounts of Depp's jealousy, rather than waiting until 2026 when it was finally safe.
It brings up a fascinating ethical dilemma about public solidarity. One user bluntly wrote, "She could, in my opinion, shut the F up about Amber's personal life now," calling the trial a witch-burning sham and criticizing Cara for abandoning her friend.
Wow, that is intense.
But to present the full picture, there was fierce pushback defending Cara as well. Other users pointed out that demanding someone sacrifice their own mental health for a public relations war is incredibly toxic.
That is a phenomenal point. I remember seeing paparazzi photos from that exact era where Cara looked visibly distressed, and photos of Margot Robbie leaving Cara's house in tears.
Yes, I remember those.
The consensus among Cara's defenders is that she was battling severe personal demons. The idea that she could have waltzed into the crosshairs of the most vicious social media trial of the century without completely shattering her own mental health it's probably just unrealistic.
Yeah, we treat celebrities like they are bulletproof avatars, but they have breaking points. Cara stepping into that trial would have subjected her to a level of online vitriol that most human beings simply cannot comprehend.
Definitely. And hey, if you're loving these deep dives into the psychology and the hidden mechanics behind Hollywood's biggest twists, make sure you're subscribed to the show. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
And you will definitely want to stick around for this next part. Later in the deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming regarding Amber Heard's multi-million-dollar legal bills and how the legal system actually operates behind closed doors.
Yeah, that takes us into our final segment, the trial by TikTok and the legal aftermath. I want to start with a number that genuinely made my head spin when I read the sources.
Get ready for this.
The 2022 defamation trial generated 18 billion views on TikTok alone. 18 billion.
It's just staggering.
That level of consumption fundamentally changed the landscape of celebrity justice. It essentially created a blueprint for how high-profile trials will be fought from now on.
And to understand how that 18 billion number impacted the real world, we need to look at the factual outcome of the trial itself. Depp v. Heard in Fairfax County, Virginia.
Right.
According to the legal logs, the U.S. jury ultimately found both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard liable for defamation.
So let's clearly break down those verdicts because the numbers tell a very specific story. Depp originally sued for $50 million and Heard countersued for $100 million. Ultimately, the jury awarded Depp $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages.
Though the judge had to immediately reduce those punitive damages to $350,000 because of Virginia state law caps.
Right, exactly. And on the other side of the verdict, the jury awarded Heard $2 million in compensatory damages.
But it is important to note the mechanism here. This was based on a very specific statement made by Depp's former lawyer, Adam Waldman.
Okay, what did he say?
Well, he published comments in the Daily Mail calling Heard's claims an ambush and a hoax. The jury found that Waldman's specific statement was defamatory against Heard.
Got it. So after all the appeals and the posturing, they finally settled out of court in December 2022. Heard's insurance paid Depp $1 million, and Depp pledged to donate that money to charity.
Which on the surface looks like a clean, albeit expensive resolution.
Right.
But digging into the sources, the legal nightmare was really just getting started for Heard.
Yeah, this is the hidden financial fallout that the TikTok algorithms completely ignored. Long before the 2018 op-ed at the center of the trial was even published, Heard had actually taken out homeowners insurance policies that specifically covered defamation lawsuits. One of those critical policies was with New York Marine and General Insurance Company.
Okay, but I have to pause here because this part of the legal log confused me at first.
Oh, the insurance stuff.
Yeah. If I buy an insurance policy specifically to protect me from a defamation lawsuit and then I get sued for defamation, isn't the insurance company legally obligated to pay my lawyers? How do they just walk away?
It's a great question, and it all hinges on a very specific legal concept called indemnification and the jury's finding of actual malice.
Okay, break that down for me.
In simple terms, to indemnify someone means to compensate them for harm or loss, essentially, the insurance company paying the bill. Now, if you accidentally back your car into a mailbox, your car insurance indemnifies you, right? They pay to fix it.
Sure.
But if you intentionally drive your car into a brick wall on purpose, your insurance company is going to say, we don't cover intentional destruction.
Right, that makes total sense. So how does that apply to defamation? Well, in defamation law, actual malice means you made a statement knowing it was completely false, or with a reckless disregard for whether it was true or not.
Ah, okay.
So when the Virginia jury ruled against Heard, they ruled that her statements were made with actual malice. New York Marine immediately turned around and sued Heard in California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they pointed to a California insurance code that says insurers are not liable for the willful, intentional bad acts of the insured. Because the jury found actual malice, the insurance company argued they had absolutely no duty to indemnify her or pay her legal fees.
Which Heard testified had ballooned to over $6 million, right?
Exactly.
That is just a staggering financial blow. She countersued them for breach of contract, but in late 2024, the Ninth Circuit Court ruled against her. The court affirmed that the insurance company fulfilled its duty simply by funding her original early-stage legal counsel.
Yeah, they didn't have to pay for the massive trial itself.
So she was left carrying those massive financial scars entirely alone.
And this financial devastation, it forces us to look at the broader environment that surrounded this trial. Because the 18 billion views on TikTok were not just organic people sharing opinions.
No, they weren't.
Our sources prove that the online narrative was mechanically manipulated.
Yes, and this is the part of the deep dive that genuinely terrifies me. The trial coverage was heavily fueled by bot networks. And when we say bots, we aren't just talking about fake accounts liking posts.
No, it's way more advanced.
We are talking about coordinated, inauthentic behavior designed to hijack the algorithm. These networks use keyword flooding posting thousands of times an hour using specific anti-Heard hashtags.
Right.
This tricks the TikTok and Twitter algorithms into thinking a topic is organically trending, which then pushes that content onto the feeds of completely neutral users who weren't even following the trial.
Exactly. It creates a completely manufactured echo chamber. On top of that, Vice News and The Citizens reported that conservative media outlets, specifically the Daily Wire, spent between $35,000 and $47,000 on Facebook and Instagram advertisements.
Wait, they paid for ads?
Yes, to promote anti-Amber Heard propaganda while the trial was actively happening. Bot Sentinel also released reports showing widespread targeted harassment of any women who simply voiced support for Heard online. It was a highly monetized, politically weaponized content machine.
Which honestly makes me question the very foundation of how our legal system is supposed to work today. Like, how does a court of law maintain any integrity when it's competing against a digital mob?
It's almost impossible.
The jury was not sequestered. They were going home every single night to a world where 18 billion views and tens of thousands of dollars in targeted ads were dedicated to mocking one side of the case. It feels like trying to hold a quiet, nuanced debate in the middle of a stadium rock concert. How can we pretend the scales of justice are balanced in that environment?
You're totally right, and legal scholars and media professors have been raising that exact alarm. When the judge made the rare decision to allow cameras in the Virginia courtroom, critics warned it would turn a serious legal proceeding into a branding opportunity and a personality cult.
And it did.
The mechanics of the algorithm ensured exactly that outcome. It basically birthed the era of trial by TikTok.
So after the algorithms move on to the next victim, where does that leave everyone today?
Well, Amber Heard has largely stepped away from the Hollywood machine. She relocated to Spain, had twins, and is just choosing to live out of the spotlight.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
But interestingly, her narrative is being re-examined by others. In 2026, a documentary titled Silenced premiered at the Sundance Film Festival.
Oh, really?
Yeah, directed by Selena Miles. The film doesn't relitigate the gossip of the trial. Instead, it examines the broader systemic issue of how defamation laws are increasingly being used as a tool to silence women.
That sounds fascinating.
Heard actually participated in the project, discussing how the harassment destroyed her desire to speak publicly. The documentary features international human rights lawyers and attempts to contextualize her experience within a much larger legal framework.
It sounds like society is finally attempting to digest the actual legal and social ramifications of what happened, rather than just treating it as a celebrity death match for our entertainment.
Exactly.
Well, stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next, because stories like this prove that pop culture is never just about who is dating who. It is a mirror reflecting how our justice system and our media actually function.
And that brings us to a final thought to mull over. For years, the narrative of the Depp-Heard trial was authored almost entirely by social media algorithms, coordinated bot networks, and intensely polarized fandoms.
Yep.
It was a story told in 15-second, out-of-context clips designed for maximum outrage. But now, the fog of the algorithm is finally starting to lift.
Exactly. High-profile bystanders like Cara Delevingne are finally feeling safe enough to step up to the microphone, break their silence, and correct the historical record without fear of immediate digital destruction.
And with documentaries like Silence challenging the manufactured narratives we were all fed, it forces us to look back at that hyper-online era of Hollywood and ask, how many other complex truths are just waiting for the noise to die down?
Oh, wow.
How many other stories from this time are just waiting for their statute of limitations to expire or for the digital mob to move on before the real truth actually comes out?
It certainly makes you realize that the court of public opinion is easily bought, easily manipulated, and rarely interested in the truth. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.